So who talks first? You talk first? I talk first.
Ladies, gentlemen, Nemoidians of an industrial age, welcome to episode 35 of Hell of a Pilot. With me tonight, and as always, at Mike's house, Mike.
Yes, I'm at my house, and I'm very excited. I just picked up my brand new Wave something, what is it?
14?
14?
Also
yes.
0.
Yes, or Wave 0, depending on what it is. So I haven't even unboxed them yet. So I've got my Saul's Renegade and my TIE Reaper. They're both looking very, very, very smexy.
I really like this, the X-Wing. I mean, there was a photo taken, and it is, a gnat's arm smaller than the old X-Wing, but it looks exactly the same, and it also has opening and shutting wings, which is super cool.
And Lachlan is also here, and will also speak at some point.
Lachlan.
Hey guys!
What's up, my brah?
Yeah, we were saying how good the U-Wing looks.
I do like the U-Wing.
Yeah.
I like the U-Wing, the black and white, a lot more than the blue and white. The black and white X-Wing, I haven't made up my mind about yet, whether I like it or not.
I'm not sold on it.
The U-Wing's cool though.
Oh yeah, the U-Wing looks way better. Also in this room is my lovely girlfriend Cassie.
Hi.
And also my lovely daughter Audrey.
Say hi.
So if you heard that sneeze, that was my daughter. I'll try my best to remove them from the editing, but
This podcast doesn't have enough crew slots for all these people.
that's an illegal podcast right there.
Yeah.
So, Lachlan, what are we doing tonight?
Well, unfortunately, our streak was ruined. We were going to talk about the second edition content of all three factions, 3 episodes in a row.
Yes.
And FFG went, no, what you do is you talk about this new thing we released this week. So
Yeah.
we're going to talk about the rest of the Lando's Millennium Falcon contents.
Yes.
Which, that's second edition stuff, and first edition stuff has just come out, and you can still play with it, but I think at the moment second edition is where the talking is.
It's very rare that we find anyone talking about first edition, except that someone flew 5 X-Wings at a tournament and did really well.
Yes. Yes.
Because 5 X-Wings is now a thing, and that would be fun.
Well, precursor of things to come, maybe.
Oh yes.
You can the fact that you can now fly a generic X-Wing swarm of the lowest initiative with an EPT, and with the refit, any 1-point EPT becomes free. So
what were they flying?
I don't know. I'm just saying you can fly lots of ridiculous stuff.
I love it. And wasn't there someone else ran something recently, which was a Shadowcaster, a Houndstooth, and a third ship. I can't remember what it was. So just the whole.
Well, it wasn't an X-wing.
No.
What are we talking about?
This is just different. Like, I'm just saying that Wave 14 has really shifted everything for X-Wing 1.0.
Yeah.
When it's really weird, we're all excited about X-Wing 2.0, but there are some crazy things happening in X-Wing 1.
Well, look, I think it is a state of... It's one of those periods, where the game goes through that period of change until it settles into a new equilibrium. I think that's where we are, and I think we're going to be there for some time, especially with 2.0. I think that's exciting. I actually like it.
Oh, I'm looking forward to 2.0.
Before first edition disappears, there's 3 U-Wing builds I want to try. The first one has dash crew and collision detector system and expert handling EPT, so you can barrel roll onto rocks and still shoot, even though you're a large spaceship. Second one has ion projector and Zeb crew, so you can fly straight into someone and because you're touching them, you can still shoot them with Zeb, and maybe give them ion with the ion projector, so you can just keep them there forever, so they can never move past you, and you can just keep shooting them. And
they can still shoot you.
yeah, they can still shoot you, but like, I still think this would be like a weird game to watch. The other one is, and I put this on Facebook, is Hera crew and Ezra crew, where you can just stop forever, but you can still flip 180 degrees so you can just be a turret basically in the middle of the game. And you can, with Saw or the fire control system, you can keep re-rolling, and with Ezra you can always change your focus results when you attack. Like,
I saw that actually when you posted it, and I was like, oh, that works really well. That's a lot of stress mechanics.
yeah.
Oh, I'm stressed. If only I was stressed. Well, I've stopped. I've been here for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That is... there is some jank in 1.0.
Oh, yeah.
And I love
There's
it.
Imperial jank as well with the Reaper. Like, if you put Fleet Officer and Systems Officer on a Reaper, then your Adaptive Ailerons move is green, so you can give someone a free target lock. Then you can move and give someone a free target lock. Just by moving, 2 allies get free target locks. Then as your action, you give those allies focus. So just by moving and taking your normal action, 2 friendlies get focus and target lock. And the Imperials are like, oh, okay, I'm already fully modified aggressively, and I can use 2 actions to reposition. All right.
Yeah, I saw a nice list that did well, that actually had 2 Reapers and 2 new Squadron loaded up with harpoon missiles.
Oh, that's scary.
I really think FFG just want first edition to go down in flames. That's why they gave us harpoons. That's why they gave us first edition Krennic.
So actually, it was like, what, you think you want this?
Yeah.
We'll show you what this really means.
What's that? A PS1 X-Wing with an EPT? Fine.
Oh, you want missiles which, do unlimited under the shields damage for no reason?
Yeah.
Fine.
That's fine. Listen, your guys are complaining about too many red dice. Well, we'll give you something to complain about.
By the way, I love for me the flavor of the Cavern Angel Zealots, the PS1 X-Wings. I love the flavor of a Zealot being PS1 but having an EPT. It's like they're so crazy, like they can do insane things. That's why they have the EPT. But because they're so insane, they're terrible pilots.
Yeah.
And that's why they're PS1. Like that just works well in my head.
Yeah.
Mike, what else are we talking about?
We are going to be doing lore as per usual, and I was banking on Imperial, but I'm okay to change that. We'll do the Imperial discussion next week. Today, I'm doing Imperial lore next time.
Oh,
next
sorry.
not next week, next show. Yeah, no,
I was
lore.
wait, we changed lore?
No, I'm doing Imperial lore as per usual. I am doing our good friend, Director Krennic.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, all right.
Best character.
Yeah.
Do you follow him on Facebook?
No, is he on Facebook?
He's on Facebook.
Okay, I'll follow him now.
It's someone who
Krennic Core or something. It's called.
No, just Director Krennic.
Oh, really?
At Facebook, and it's just a series of memes about Director Krennic, and
Okay.
that is it.
I'll look that up. I used to follow a Director Krennic meme page, but then it got crap, so I unfollowed it. If there's another one...
It's been terrible since it came out.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
Just like Krennic.
But actually, that as a tangent, I used to actually really enjoy. There was a Kylo Ren Twitter account. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Yes, some of
that
it.
was hilarious. It was kind of things. It was like Kylo as a teenager. It was sort of like slams door with force. Mom.
Wasn't there something about like the Solo family? There was, like, a whole Solo family. Twitter page, and it was just all the different Solos, except if they stayed together and were like suburban people.
Yeah.
All right. Before we go off too much of a tangent, let's on with the show.
Good day, citizens, and welcome to Holonet News. An exciting announcement is making news today. The Emperor himself will be personally touring the cities of the Empire as he wants to see you. Not you personally, that would be ridiculous. You as in all of the people in his dominion. He cares about you. He wants you to see him. He wants you to see him safely within the impenetrable walls of the newly released TIE Reaper. He has a new ship to show off, but it's not just the ship to make the Navy what it is. The Navy is made up of people, and pilots most of all. The Emperor's personal ship, Dark Side of the Air Force One, is piloted with great skill and style by the daring Captain Feroff. She knows she's carrying the most precious cargo in the galaxy, but she's one of the best and up to the challenge.
She's not alone though, and the TIE Reaper isn't the only ship on tour comfortable with going full throttle. Escorting her in a powerful TIE Defender is Squadron Leader Rexler Brath. The Emperor has often been seen alongside TIE Defenders, but usually one piloted by a Colonel or Countess. Squad Leader Relaxing Bath is a rare sight in an Imperial squadron, but the fearsome flying ace is back with a vengeance. Demonstrating a high level of initiative and keen ability to expose his enemy's weaknesses, Wrestling Breath will surely be seen flying in defense of his sovereign much more often in times to come. Lastly tonight, a reminder to our frontline troops that desertion is a serious offense. If you abandon your post during battle, the Emperor will have you executed by allowing you to live to the age of 73, corrupting your son with our ideals, and having him stab you with a lightsaber while standing on a narrow bridge. That is an oddly specific punishment, and this is Holonet News.
Ha! Ha 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 ha! That certainly wasn't a hard cut. Let's talk about this new amazing thing that I've done a 180 on.
Oh.
When the last thing came out, I was like, yeah, maybe.
It was the 2 red dice, wasn't it?
It was the 2 red dice. It was absolutely.
I think a lot of people were concerned.
As soon as that came out, I was like, that is just not good. But
Second edition is going to be different than first, though, so 2 red dice might actually be meaningful for a change.
that is true. I still don't think it's so. If they're giving the Hawk 3 red dice, I mean.
But anyway,
we'll continue. So before we get cracking on to the actual ship, let's talk about the other ship that comes in this pack, the drone slash escape pod.
The escape craft they specify on the card. I've only just noticed the flavor to actually. Hang on, we'll explain the ship first.
Yes.
One of them, the removable escape craft, which they have their own abilities when they're separate. The Initiative 1 autopilot drone.
Yeah.
The ability is rigged energy cells. It comes with 3 energy. During the system phase, if you are not docked, lose 1 energy. At the end of the activation phase, if you have 0 energy, you are destroyed.
Yes.
Before you are removed, each ship at range 0 to 1 suffers 1 critical damage. So it can only survive for 3 turns after it's separate. Mm-hmm. And then it just blows up. And
it's a guided missile.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a cruise missile. It's awesome.
It's the most terrifying thing I've seen. Okay,
this is so cool.
It's amazing. Real talk. Would you put this in the ship to start with, or just start the game with a guided missile flying towards the enemy?
Well, in 3 turns, it would blow up, and if your opponent can't avoid you in 3 turns from the start of the game, with them in their deployment zone and you in yours, they're doing something wrong.
True, and I guess it does deploy quite early with the initiative of 1. It's
Yeah.
not initiative anymore.
Yeah, it's initiative.
It is
not
initiative.
pilot skill.
Yes, gets it right.
Which I've made a decision. I'm gonna keep calling it pilot skill on purpose.
Okay.
So anybody who ever listens to this or meets me in person and hears me talk about pilot skill, it's not a mistake. I know what I'm doing.
Fight him. So, what's its flavor text?
Sometimes manufacturers' warnings are made to be broken.
I hadn't even seen that. I was looking at the
It's like the mattress tag. Who reads the mattress tag?
Yeah.
Do not tear this tag off.
Yes.
Threat. Tears it off.
Yes.
3. Oh, what? 2. Oh, God, what?
Boom.
Its little character explanation is just set to blow.
It's going to be great.
Anyway.
I feel this deeply. I love this.
Oh, actually, this is right up your alley.
It resonates with me.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to hear. I don't know how often it'll actually work.
Real talk. How badly do you also want to put Dead Man Switch on it?
If it has its own illicit slot. if this, when it's released, if it comes with its own illicit slot, that will be one of the first things the devs deactivate in the app. They'll be like, oops. Untick that.
Unless they mean it.
You know,
just a guided missile.
You know what? Look, it seems against a large base ship whose moves are more predictable and which covers a larger space on the board, I don't know. I think this could be like imagine this could chase down a ghost. It could chase down a.
It does say range 0, so you can just slam into them.
Just continuously running into them, yeah.
And at initiative 1, we're going to have a fight about this. At initiative 1, it's
I'm actually quite worried. Listeners who's never seen him, Mike is a lot bigger than me.
At initiative 1, it's perfectly positioned to block, and I'm anticipating, and I think, look, I don't know. And look, you know what? I'm intrigued as this is designed because I don't know whether I'm excited or terrified by the idea of ordnance which you can actually now direct in combat. Does it set a precedent? It's kind of like a guided harpoon missile.
Alright, so this is going to live or die on its cost.
Yes.
It's a guided missile.
Yes.
It is nothing more than a guided missile.
It's 1 critical damage.
You are paying X amount of points for 1 critical damage, and that's sort of it. So
I feel like you could fly away from it. If I was playing against you and you moved it and plonked it down on its 3rd turn, and I knew that you could not move it again, and anything within range 1 of it would go off, I would fly my ships away from it.
That's true.
But that's actually kind of a control anyway. Do you know what I mean? You're
still
forcing you're controlling. It's kind of a soft control. You're forcing.
It's a pretty good control.
I agree with that. Both of you are 100% absolutely right. But I wouldn't cop a crit for doing that.
Would you take this if it was 10 points? 10 points being the 200 point list.
Honestly, I would prefer one of the other escape craft pilots that we'll get to in a
this
second.
This is true. Let's actually get to them right now. Whoa, that was quick. L337. The droid revolutionary.
You mean lead?
Yeah.
I'm still pulling my hair out about this.
That's bad.
Just it shouldn't have happened.
Anyway.
It just shouldn't have happened.
Everything about this just makes me angry.
Leetbo. That was
Leetbo.
Like the model kind of the character model kind of looks like Leebo a little bit, and they call it Leet, but Leet is bad.
Okay, if you're not shielded, decrease the difficulty of your bank's maneuvers. Okay, not bad.
While you are docked, your carrier ship has your pilot ability in addition to its own. Now, I have a question about this. The title for Lando's Falcon has several clauses on it. One of them is you can spend the shields from the escape craft.
Yes.
When the main Falcon chassis gets attacked. So,
really?
When all the shield tokens are gone from the Falcon, can you use this ability, because the Falcon has no shields, and then on 2 subsequent attacks, or 1 depending, but anyway, spend the 2 shield tokens that the escape craft has? Is that how that would work?
Yeah, if it says you may, then yes.
Yeah.
If it says you must, then no.
Yeah, because you don't have shields, but you have access to shields. You know what I mean?
One escape craft may be docked with you. While you have an escape craft docked, you may spend its shields as if it was your own. Yeah, that is a hard may.
Okay, so all right, if we choose to interpret it that way, then that gives this card even more value. Flying with the title, you can lose your shields but still have some, and have a bonus to your dial.
All right, now let's get on to this next one, because I think this is the one that you and me, Lachie, were like, yes, make it happen. Outer Rim Pioneer. You're only allowed one of them. Skillful Outlaw. Friendly ships at range 0 to 1 can perform attacks at range 0 of obstacles. If you're on an obstacle, you're still shooting.
So, yeah.
Also, co-pilot. If you're docked with the carrier ship, your pilot happens as well. So if it's in the Millennium Falcon, the Millennium Falcon's also shooting.
Yeah. A large base ship, let's be honest, when flying large base ships, we've all landed on rocks before. And I'm not talking like a full body plot rock is under the middle of the base, the corner.
Yeah,
under.
You get that 1 millimeter. And you go, oh.
And you're like, you just can't put it flat on the table by the tiniest bit, and it's on there, and this is insurance against that. And it's not just this one. Friendly ships, not a maximum amount of times. If you're flying your squad close in with your Falcon,
I wouldn't be surprised if a good list for 2.0 is 2 Falcons. If you can fit 2 Falcons, I reckon 2 Falcons would be a thing.
You could before. You could in first edition.
That's true.
If they were the inexpensive ones.
There was
Chewie Han.
Chewie Han was a build.
Yeah, Chewie Han.
That could... Yeah, I reckon this would be good because now you have 2 big bases flying around, taking up space and shooting on rocks.
Yeah, you know what absolutely kills me
What's
about
that?
this is this in combination with some of the other upgrades we'll talk about in a minute make me think that I would enjoy flying the Scum Millennium Falcon.
Come to the scum side.
But I don't think I will because I hate the model.
Really?
Absolutely hate it.
Really?
The new Falcon with the blue and white and the nose cone is dumb. I don't like it.
Nah,
And
I'm excited for this model. I'm buying it. I
was-
don't own a Millennium Falcon. I'm buying this one.
I was thinking I would maybe I would just fly with the Rebel Falcon model, but the Scum cards and stuff, and then I realised I couldn't because how would I represent the escape craft being attached to it?
Correct.
Just life is hard, you guys.
Say it's door.
But you couldn't undock it, and you...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many? Oh, but okay, how many people have the U-wing and then open and close it every time they change the?
I'm going to, because I'm an absolute.
Yeah, a lot of people do. But, I mean, it is game information.
That is true.
So you're probably better. I mean, look, it depends. Casual play, who cares? But at a tournament, you would be.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the lowest pilot skill / initiative, L337. Droid Revolutionary. If you are not shielded, decrease the difficulty of your bank's left and right maneuvers.
Yeah, in every one of her appearances in the game, her ability is identical.
Yeah.
I don't think she will ever, no one will ever fly her as the chassis ship, because even though it'd be the cheapest, you get more value out of her escape craft and even her crew.
And at a PS2, I'm also just going to jump around between initiative and PS.
Yeah.
Meh. Hard meh. Well, it's funny, because in the movie, spoilers, she's supposed to be an amazing pilot. End spoiler there.
I think...
More spoilers.
I don't think this is necessarily a spoiler. Part of her character is she has a sophisticated suite of navigational software in her brain. So I think that if they've represented that, then it kind of makes sense that she would make you better at turning your ship.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see it's flavoursome.
Yeah.
I still think she should be a better, higher
PS.
higher PS, higher initiative than Lando, because I don't think Lando ever actually flies it. In the movie.
Oh, yeah.
He does once when he leaves.
Yeah.
That's sort of it.
Yeah.
And she is his co-pilot / the actual driver. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's move on to Lando. We already know about Lando. We're talking about.
But in the context of the whole upgrade pack,
Sure. If you roll your dice and you're not stressed, you may gain 1 stress token to reroll all your blank results. Pretty great.
It's good. He's
It's
also
good.
a crew member as well.
He is also a crew member.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, as a Scum crew member...
Oh, we're going to crew members? Okay.
Yeah. And can I just say, I actually kind of like the picture here. He's looking rather suave.
Yeah.
it's very good art.
This, Actually, you know, it's not like Hair of Goblin. They've come a long way with the artwork.
They really-
Yeah.
That is a solid Danny Glover right there.
It is, isn't it?
It's,
or Childish Gambino.
Childish Lando.
Childish
Childish
Lando.
The younger Landos.
Nice.
So he'd be kind of like, this is Bespin City. That's his sort of like...
This is Corellia.
This is Corellia.
This is Corellia.
This is Corellia.
Oh my god. Alright, after you roll your dice, you may spend 1 green token to reroll up to 2 of your results. That's...
Solid. It's a crew member
It's crew.
on
Alright.
other ships.
Alright, so... What this means is that if you have a green token, which is a focus token,
Focus, evade, or reinforce.
focus, evade, reinforce, you may reroll up to 2 of your results. How often will you be re-rolling results that a focus couldn't do it for you?
Blanks.
When it's not focus. Well, yeah, blanks.
Blanks.
All right. The way I've been thinking about it
Or
is
defensively, if you've spent your focus token already.
But you can't. Because
no,
you
you
need to
can't.
just-
Sorry, correction.
if you put Lando crew on a fire spray
Yes.
and you take the reinforce action,
Yep.
and reinforce won't allow you to cancel the last damage because that's how it works now. Or if you don't get to use your reinforce because the enemy has split your arc or
Yes.
you've reinforced the wrong side, spend a worthless reinforce token, reroll 2 defense dice.
Yep. Okay. That works.
I'm not. I don't know if it's what you would call top tier, but I think it's kind of solid. It's kind of like the old Zuckus in reverse.
Do we have many token stacking happening in 2.0? Where you can get multiple?
Not really.
I can't remember the name of... They call it some... Or is it Perceptive Copilot? Anyway, the second edition version of Recon Specialist, get yourself two focus tokens.
Yeah.
You don't need 2 focus tokens to change focus results. If you roll some blanks, spend 1 focus token, re-roll your dice, roll some eyes, spend the other focus token.
Yeah.
Lando
has a place.
Yeah. It's kind of like... I like his...
The only thing I think that his card, his pilot skill is better is for bombs. Yeah. Because you can re-roll bombs as, because you roll over them, therefore you roll the dice, and as Lando you say, I'm just going to re-roll those, thank you.
Yeah.
Aside from that, yeah.
I also like the flavor...
Wait. No, I'm 100% wrong, because you may gain 1 stress token to re-roll all of your blank results. You would just be re-rolling the bomb hits into hits, which is,
And you don't want to do that.
Not ideal.
If something the equivalent of Cad Bane comes in at some point, I suppose it would do that.
Alright, let's get back to Han Solo. Woo, the Corellian Kid. While you defend or perform a primary attack, if the attack is obstructed by an obstacle, you may roll 1 additional die. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes! This is Hotshot Gunner. No, what's the name of it? Hotshot...
Trick Shot.
Trick Shot.
PT.
Except also defensively.
Yeah, and look, this is
cool.
again is very flavoursome. This is in line with him being a pilot, flying through
Kessel Run,
and flying through asteroids and all that kind of stuff.
Shame this can't barrel roll.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. if somehow his thing was about barrel rolling and knocking other ships, would be great. But
yeah.
Sad.
Yeah. Still, solid extra damage. Sure.
Yeah.
Because all you need to be is in range. Yeah.
If you put the title on this, which the other part of the title is that you get an extra attack dice if the opponent is stressed when you're shooting them. If you put the Trick Shot EPT on Han and the Outer Rim Pioneer, the get extra shot, so the attack can't be obstructed one, land on a rock with part of your arc, with a bit of rock between your opponent and your arc, and they're stressed and you're at range 1 and you have Trick Shot, then you are shooting them a lot.
Also, I think the other god move for that is there's the rig cargo shoot that comes with this. So if someone's chasing you, you rig cargo shoot them and then go, hey, you're on my rig cargo shoot. I'm now shooting a lot of dice at you.
Yeah, that's true, actually. That's a nice one.
Han Solo, the Gunner crew member. Gunner crew. No, just not Gunner crew, just Gunner.
Well, that's interesting because the article references the Falcon having 2 crew slots. It says in there, how do you fill the 2 crew slots in the article, and the
Gunner's one of them.
So that's what I'm wondering: is crew a catch-all term, or is Gunner a separate thing? Like the articles sometimes have small mistakes in them, but
it must be a separate thing. It's a completely separate icon.
Yeah, so maybe there's 1 crew and 1 Gunner on the Falcon now. Because if it's 2 crew and a Gunner, that's very powerful.
Yeah, that's true. Before you engage, you may perform a red focus action. Great. Moving along.
It's good. It's good.
Tobias, yeah, it is good. Tobias Beckett, after placing forces, you may choose 1 obstacle in the play area. If you do, place it anywhere on the board beyond range 2 of any other board, edge, ship, beyond range 1 of any other obstacle. Okay, you move thing we talked about last episode.
We did talk about it last episode, but we didn't know how important rock placement was going to be for this ship at the top.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Yeah, it's like, okay, all the forces are placed, all the rocks are down. I know that I want to shoot you with extra dice along my approach.
That is very
true. So I'm going to
true.
move a rock and then fly my Falcon around it.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
That's very true.
So I think it's interesting because, in particular, obstacles are becoming a much more important part of the gameplay because there are now also mechanics where you can remove obstacles. And so therefore neutralising or pilot abilities like Lando's and stuff.
This game is much more dynamic.
Yeah, so it's as I said, and we saw with the other one, I think, what was it, one of the YV pilots that can fly off different parts. You know what I mean? Like it's sort of there's some
more moving parts in this game.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
And obstacles is the much more official term. Like sometimes when I hear people say rocks, like I hear Hank Schrader from Breaking Bad in my head, like they're obstacles, Marie. Anyway,
at the start of the end phase, Chewbacca.
Yeah. Let's talk about
scum Chewbacca.
Yeah.
At the start of the end phase, you may spend one focus to repair one of your face-up damage cards. That's pretty good.
That's powerful. I'm curious to know how much that's going to cost.
I really like the art in this, by the way.
Yeah, it's great.
It's like he's got a shotgun.
Yeah. He's got on some like
just hip firing shots. Oh, that's cool.
He's got on some like Ray-Bans and he's got a over-under shotgun and he's just kind of
going to town. That's pretty great.
Yeah.
We did say earlier that the art in this is just better, and wow, it's just better, isn't it?
Yeah, look, actually, you know what? They did cop a fair amount of criticism for some of the artwork. I mean,
for what, from this article?
No.
Oh, you mean
historically?
Oh, yeah.
Corran Horn with a thumbs up.
Yeah, that's true.
Hera Goblin.
Just to kill the mood a little bit, before this episode is over, I am going to criticize some art.
Okay, do it now. Wait,
now.
are we...
Do it now. Okay.
Oh,
okay.
no, I see the art.
There it is.
I see the problem.
There it is.
Yeah, that one is...
Yeah.
Actually,
Kira. Okay, here's the thing, right?
Yeah, she doesn't look good.
The Dash Rendar Krook alt art card is terrible. But in their defense, Dash Rendar is not a real person.
That's true.
So they had to kind of make it up as they went along.
That's
the
right.
Hera Goblin is terrible. But Hera, also not a real person. So they had to, Emilia Clarke is a real person.
A very attractive real person.
A very attractive real person who was made famous in one of the most popular TV shows ever, which predates X-Wing. What I'm saying is they had time to observe Emilia Clarke.
She looks about... looks around about 20 years older here.
Yeah, she does. I was about to say, she looks like she's in her 40s.
So
she looks like... You know what she looks like? She looks like Leia from Last Jedi.
She does, actually.
Anyway, all I want to say is, like, this is not, like... I don't think this counts as body shaming. Like, Emilia Clarke, babe, this art, bad. Like, that's the...
Well, you're not body shaming. It's not a real person. It's a piece of art.
It's just not good art.
But the ability is interesting. While you move and perform attacks, you ignore obstacles that you are locking. So, reminder for anybody who's missed it, because the rules have been sort of brought out in dispatches. In second edition, target lock is just called lock, and you can lock anything on the board. You can lock a friendly, you can lock an enemy, you can lock things on the board.
Really?
I don't think you can lock yourself, although why would you? But anyway...
So, I think this is potentially really powerful.
Well, in the article, they specifically mentioned that you would want to pair it with Han.
Yeah.
Because when you perform attacks, you ignore obstacles, so you don't.
Yeah, this will pairs really well.
They don't get their defense dice or something.
I was gonna say, like, you're still moving onto a rock, and you still have to maybe get hurt if you're doing the that smuggler. Which one? No, I'm not thinking about that one. I'm thinking about the...
Wait a second. They don't go together at all.
No, they don't.
Why did an official article say... Hang on, yeah, it said pair her with Han. Han wants his attacks to be obstructed. She would make it so his attacks can't be obstructed.
Mm-hmm.
While you move or perform attacks, you ignore obstacles that you're locking. After you defend or perform a primary attack, the attacker's obstructed.
I guess you could use her to give him extra defense, but he wants his primary to be super.
Yeah, he does.
But look, even ignoring that,
unless they FAQ it, which they might do, and actually say no, it actually works like that.
The articles are always a little bit wrong. It's like in first edition you couldn't pair Trickshot EPT with Dash Crew.
Yeah,
because
they just don't.
Well, you couldn't do it because he says your attacks cannot be obstructed.
Yeah.
Trickshot says when your attacks are obstructed,
Correct.
get an extra dice. So you can't put them together and take away one of their greens and give you an extra red because they don't work together. I suppose this is doing that. Sorry for confusing you, everybody, but I think when you move, you ignore obstacles part, you can make any scum ship pseudo dash.
That's what I was saying. That's why I think it's potentially really powerful. So you put that on, say, like a YV, which, wants to just roll over stuff.
Just roll over things, yeah.
Yeah,
true.
you know what I mean? It's kind of put that on, say, like a Lancer class. Put that on a any large, medium base ship which takes crew. It just opens up the board that much more for them. Like, it makes them less predictable in many respects. I don't know. I think that one's potentially one of the sleepers in this.
You lock something that you know is going to be in your...
Yeah.
Turn 1, you move, you're not shooting at anything.
Yeah.
You lock it, turn 2, you're shooting through it.
Yeah.
So you haven't wasted a lock on it. That's actually really good.
If there's anything in the game, another crew or an upgrade or something that somehow gets you re-rolls without needing to spend a lock, then whatever that thing is, put it with Kira.
Wait. Hang on. Lando Calrissian.
Yes.
After you roll the dice.
Lando and Kira together.
Yeah.
So you lock on the obstacle. You land the ship on the thing.
Yep.
You keep the lock on the rock.
Yep.
And you spin.
You lock on the rock.
You lock on the rock.
You lock right on that rock.
That's the official.
You then spend the lock that's on the rock to re-roll the dice.
Would you have to keep the lock on the rock?
Well, I don't think so, because while you move and perform attacks,
I know.
So I think the timing goes, you determine obstacles, then Kira comes in and says, hey, there's no obstacles in the way.
Correct.
Then you go down to the next step, which is fire, you roll the dice, you then modify the dice.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know how the timing chart works off the top of my head, but if that's right, that's awesome. But if it turns out that an attack isn't over until everything is done, then you still have to keep the lock.
Listeners, reach out to us. Let us know who was right.
Do you have to keep the lock on the rock?
Lock on the Rock. God, that's a great name for a show. The Lock on the Rock. What else we got to talk about? We're going to talk about L337. Hot diggity dog setup. Equip this side face up. While you defend, you may flip this card. If you do, the attacker must re-roll all the attack dice. Fantastic one-shot. What happens on the other side, Lachie?
When you flip that card over, it applies the L3 pilot ability, if you are not shielded, decrease difficulty of your bank maneuvers, to whatever ship it's on. So there's a new thing in 2nd edition, the configuration cards. They're not like titles. You might have seen the symbol for the S-Force. So she starts in play as a crew card, a single-use crew card, that when she's flipped over, she then... And this is a huge thing from the movie. If you've seen the movie, you'll know why this is really cool, but we won't just in case. But so, starts out as a crew card, use it once, and then continues on for the rest of the game as an extra ability for the ship, which is...
I was just going to say, hats off to FFG for making that goddamn thematic.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's what... See, you know what this actually made me think of? Because everything new in X-Wing usually makes us think of design space for future things. An Obi-Wan Kenobi crew.
Oh my god, that dies.
Yeah. So people have been calling for an Obi-Wan crew since there was crew in the game, and it hasn't come in yet. Now imagine, right? Obi-Wan begins play as a crew card,
and then becomes a Force
then you
Ghost.
spend him, and then he becomes a Force Ghost.
Fantastic! You just have an old man die on your ship halfway through the game.
It'd be like. It'd be like his ability is something, and then when you flipped him over, it's something else. Like, for once per game turn, your ship can't be attacked or can't be locked or something. Flip it over, and then for the rest of the game, the ship he's on has one regenerating force.
I was going to say, like, it's a regen force ability because it's like use the Force Luke type stuff. It's like
Luke.
Yeah, that's right. It's like use
Love
the
it,
Force, and it's like I don't know, maybe for a Force pilot you get back one Force token or something like that.
I reckon it would be something along the lines of flip it. Any ship within range 0 to 3 of your ship may regenerate an extra Force token. Because Luke Skywalker is in an X-Wing. They can't take him. Just saying.
Anyway, yeah, that was just a thing.
Oh, and sorry, finish this off. Bring us home, Mike.
Oh, which one is it? It's
Lando's Millennium Falcon.
Yes. So, one escape craft may dock with you, and while you have an escape craft docked, you may spend its shields as if they were your own, effectively. And while you perform a primary attack against a stress ship, roll 1 additional attack die.
Wonderful.
So
Pretty good.
that was another thing that we noticed in the last episode that we spoke about, the stats of the Falcon being different. It has fewer shields, except it kind of doesn't with that title on there. The drones the escape craft, when they're separate, by the way, they have a red coordinate, which is interesting. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a good ship.
I agree.
I think it's gonna be a good ship.
I'm actually excited for this one. This is cool.
It does lots of interesting things.
Yeah.
What are you bringing up, Lachie?
We talked about everything. Yeah,
We have talked about everything. I think it's time to move on to lore.
Awesome.
To defeat an enemy, you must know them. Not simply their battle tactics, but their history, philosophy, art.
And we're back with lore. I mean, we haven't actually gone anywhere. I mean, we just took a break for like 5 minutes. Oh, hey, listeners.
Oh, people are listening.
People are listening?
Yeah.
Lore section?
just remembered why we're doing this.
That's all right. I think we actually spent probably about 15 minutes talking about...
We actually spent 15 minutes talking about lore. Yeah.
That lore, yeah. And then we thought, well, I suppose we better record.
Oh, wow. Why are we recording this?
Yeah. Anyway, so I believe it's my turn to talk about lore, and as I said at the top of the show, it's about Director Krennic, or to give his full name, Orson Callan Krennic.
His name is Awesome?
Orson.
Orson,
as in Orson Welles.
Okay. I thought you said Awesome Krennic, and I'm like, I agree.
You're standing on my achievement.
Yeah.
So, yes,
That was awesome.
Awesome in the streets, awesome in the sheets.
That's what the Death Troopers do.
Oh, did you guys read that theory that the Death Troopers might be zombies?
I've heard of that, yes, that they were kind of like cyborgy kind of things, because they're not human anyway, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of cool.
I actually like the idea. Anyway, so we're going to talk about Krennic because he has come in the TIE Reaper upgrade, and I think his ability is really interesting and actually quite good.
1.0, it's great.
In 1.0, it's going to be awesome. Whack that on a TIE Defender.
Yes.
With its extra shields already. But anyway, so why did we choose him? I chose him. I think in many respects he's the epitome or the perfect example of what a career bureaucrat was in the Empire under Palpatine. And he exhibited many of the traits and characteristics that it took to be successful living in basically what was a space Nazi regime. So a little bit about him. So when we actually meet him in Rogue One, which I think all of us agree we enjoyed mightily. I enjoyed his character. I think it's good. I like it.
He's one of my favourite villains for a long time.
He is, actually. I think he's a great... Ben Mendelsohn brings great character to that role.
What else has he been in? Is he just a reasonably untested actor?
Oh, I think he's done more stuff in Australia than anywhere else. He was in, briefly, The Dark Knight Rises.
Because I was just blown away by his performance.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to see more of this guy in anything.
Yeah, he's done a lot of character acting type stuff, but in Australia he was well known in a lot of... in his younger years, he did a lot of different films.
Recently, he played the King in Darkest Hour, the Winston Churchill biography.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyway, when we meet our good friend Krennic, he is head of what's called the Advanced Weapons Research Division. And he headed up the development and construction of the Peace Sphere.
The terrorists would call it a Death Star.
But we know its true name and purpose, to bring peace to the galaxy.
Through superior firepower.
Yes.
Which is actually...
Peace through ordnance.
Peace through ordnance.
Yes.
Try doing that next time you go to a games night.
Yeah.
I have superior firepower. Just don't.
Anyway, he was born in Sadavran City on the planet of Lexrol in 51 BBY. That's the BBY is before the Battle of Yavin. Lexrol was a heavily industrialized planet in the mid-rim. And he is obviously a human. At age...
So is he 50?
Yes.
He's older than he looks then.
Damn!
Yeah,
Looks good for his age.
He's got he ate well, he exercised.
Warms a couple planets, does wonders for his skin, the exfoliating sand.
He also wears a cape.
Which
just makes you look younger.
Can I just say, no, the white cape is actually a distinctive thing about him. Mm-hmm. He actually at one point turned up into a sort of like a high society party on Coruscant wearing this white cape, and people were like, whoa, check out the cape. Damn.
Have any of you read Grand Moff Tarkin, the book?
Tarkin, yes.
Okay, there's when Tarkin introduces himself, there is the first paragraph, I swear to God, is about him deciding his outfit.
Yes.
And
it is.
It is, yeah. And so, like, Krennic just... And there, it talks about, like, what does he wear? How does he wear it? With this, that, or what sort of style it's on. Like, we don't go too far, too advanced. And it's great.
Yeah.
So Krennic's like, he's on that style train.
Exactly.
He knows what's up.
It seems to matter, though.
It does, doesn't it?
But actually, and this is the point I'm trying to make, because within the Empire, appearance mattered greatly. To be seen to be successful, to be seen to be powerful. So this is, and I think...
a cape will do that.
A cape will
make you look powerful.
In fact, tomorrow when I go to work, I'm wearing a cape, and a white one.
This is making me think of Seinfeld. He was talking to a man in a cape. A man in a cape?
Anyway, so at age 15, he earned a place. So when he was born, obviously, it was before the Empire. So he was born under the Republic. So at age 15, he earned a place in what was called the Galactic Republic's Future Program, which was an advanced educational program for people of high potential. So they were streamed into these sort of specialised educational programs and facilities that were scattered around the galaxy. And that is where he actually met Galen Erso, and they became friends.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
So following his graduation, he went into the Republic Corps of Engineers, and he rose very quickly through those ranks because he was actually seen as he was actually initially showed a great aptitude towards architecture.
Mm.
So he
the way they chose him.
Yeah. So he joined the Engineer Corps, rose through the ranks very quickly. Interesting thing happened. So Clone Wars begin. He's serving in the Engineers Corps supporting the Grand Army of the Republic. The Republic, at that point, decides to put together a secret group called the Special Weapons Group, studying advanced weaponry and also the weaponry of the Confederacy.
Because the Death Star is a Confederate weapon, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is interesting. So following the battle of the first battle of Geonosis, which is an attack of the clones, remember that scene where they have the Death Star shown? Anyway, the Republic actually captures a copy of those plans, take it, and they decide, and they actually debate amongst themselves whether to actually build it.
Did anyone see that thing Matt Pat put together, the game theorist, about how much the Death Star would actually cost to make?
Yeah, the game theorist is good. Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it also, wow.
Yeah.
Actually, what you've just said there reminds me. I sometimes watch YouTube videos made by a guy called the Lore Master.
Again, another good one.
Which I quite like.
Yeah.
I think there was one.
Yeah.
There was like an ethical arms race. There were people in the Republic. They were deciding, look, is it better to build this Death Star, which would be a terrible thing, or is it
correct?
Is it worse to not build it because then the enemy would have one and we didn't?
Exactly, and that was actually the point I was getting to. Was like that's where so our good friend, you may remember him, Maz Amada, who was the Palpatine's sidekick down the track. He was the blue-haired guy with the big horn sticking out the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that guy's
cool. So he was kind of kicking around and actually sort of urged Krennic and the Republic to actually do this. So the Republic actually started construction of testing an early version of the Death Star.
Really?
Yes.
What was the early version?
So...
Okay.
Yeah.
It was what they put in the Last Jedi.
Just a prototype.
Yeah.
Prototype. Oh, yeah, the thing they dragged along the ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And because Krennic was an architect, it was his idea to make it a sphere, because spheres are pleasing to the eye.
That's correct, because the circles are perfect, I guess. Yeah, a perfect circle. Yeah.
Really?
No, I don't know about that. I was just making that up. Yeah.
Isn't that amazing that the Star Wars universe is so bizarre that I would actually legitimately ask the question, is that a thing?
Yeah. So there was a couple of things that actually were happening at the same time. At the same time, Krennic thought that his good friend Urso, who was a brilliant student, a brilliant scientist, would actually make a good member of this team. However, slight problem, he had actually, Urso at that point had been captured by the Separatists. So Krennic actually organised with a scum smuggler to actually have him rescued, which he actually did. Urso was grateful, said thank you very much, but I'm a pacifist, turned around and said I'm not choosing sides in this war.
During the Clone Wars.
During the Clone Wars, sorry. So we're still in the Clone Wars period, sorry. So we've kind of jumped around a little bit.
That's the thing about the Clone Wars. It's a very, very interesting choice of who was the good guy and who was the bad guy. Because at the end of the day, it was just a bunch of systems that were like, we really don't want to get taxed by you for no reason.
Yeah.
They are separatists. They just want to be separate from this gigantic bureaucry.
No taxation without representation.
And, at the end of the day, it was led by Darth Sidious, but whatever.
Yeah.
But they didn't know that.
No, they didn't.
So what you were saying, Mike, then, in the one of the flashback scenes then in Rogue One, where it seemed like, Krennic and Urso were being sort of friendly with each other. The one where Jyn is quite young. So it seems like maybe that was genuine then. Like they were
It was, so they were genuine. Well, in the sense that Krennic, I think, the best we could say is that, they were friends to the point that possibly that I think Krennic was probably more kind of a sociopath, like in the sense that he saw the utility and value in Galen Urso.
Right.
How genuine the friendship is, I don't know, a little hard to say, because when you think about it, or maybe at that point they were, and Krennic became, as he advanced up the career ladder and the Empire came into being, became more ruthless and more sociopathic in his behaviours. But anyway, hard to say. So at that point, so Urso doesn't do that, but at the same time, Krennic then speaks to a Geonosian leader who's actually been captured by the Republic at that point, and they sort of work out a deal to actually get the Geonosians to start helping them build the early version of the Death Star.
Right.
Yeah. Turns out this guy, I can't pronounce his name. It's like Puglat blah 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 or something like that.
Poggle?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Poggle the Lesser?
Yeah, Poggle the Lesser. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a guy, That's
anyway.
the guy with the cane.
Yeah, the guy with the cane. Yeah, anyway. He betrays Krennic and escapes and, work on the Death Star stops because he also was supplying the workforce.
That's classic Poggle.
Yeah, classic Poggle.
Lesser.
Yep. Which was also caused massive reputational damage to Krennic because he was obviously heading this up and pushing this as well. Going forward, Clone War ends, Galactic Empire is declared. Krennic stays in his position, and he then becomes part of what's called, I think it's the Advanced Weapons Program, they call it. Krennic eventually gets Urso to come into the program, but he kind of tricks him into making...
It's a peace sphere.
No,
you're a pacifist, right?
Yeah, that's right. No, he wants Urso to work on the Kyber crystals.
Oh, yeah.
And what this cover story is to not only Urso, but everybody else... it's called the Celestial Power Project or something like that, is that it's going to be a source of unlimited power to help rebuild those worlds shattered during the Clone Wars. And
irony abounds.
Yeah.
The shattering of planets.
Yes. So, and at the same time, Urso was a scientist, and he kind of has a tunnel vision. And so he is so intrigued and so into these Kyber crystal things that he's just kind of like doesn't see the broader picture. He's just pretty happy. And that's where you're probably thinking of that scene in Rogue One where they're kind of, good friends and all that kind of stuff. Because at that point, Urso's pretty happy with things, sort of
So it's going like, hey, Orson, I think I'm kind of close to figuring out this renewable energy. We can, thousands and thousands of people will be able to warm their homes and cook their meals and stuff. Isn't that great? Krennic's like, yeah, Galen, that's fantastic. That's the best. Do you think we could, I'm just asking for a friend. Do you think, accidentally that power could be used to, blow stuff up? I don't know.
I mean, we don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
No.
But
I need to know this just in case, someone does it.
It's purely a hypothetical question, but you have to tell me.
If we just put magnifying glasses, could it be like a laser of some kind?
Yeah.
Some kind of death beam?
yeah.
Have you gone full mad scientist, sir?
Yeah.
Oh yes, I have.
Anyway, but Krennic is pushing hard to have this built, and this is where sort of all the politics of the Empire come into play. In particular, and Owen, you mentioned before, Tarkin and Krennic become rivals.
Oh, yeah.
Bitter rivals.
God, it's such a good scene. I love that whole the dichotomy of he's in charge, but then he's actually completely powerless in the face of someone who is slightly higher on the scale, and then that person who's slightly higher just wastes him.
Yeah.
It's spectacular.
Yeah, and it's pretty good. So Tarkin thought the whole exercise was actually a waste of money and resources. And also even our good friend Thrawn saw the Death Star as a waste of resources, but also as a strategic vulnerability in over-investing so much into the peace sphere.
And he was right.
He was right.
Yeah, so
he was more concerned about, and I'm with Thrawn on this, he was more concerned about the TIE Defender.
Yeah. Everyone else saw a battle station and Thrawn was like, that's a mighty big basket you're building to put some eggs in.
That pretty much. There was an incident actually during the early stages and testing of the kyber crystals on a planet called Malpez. There was a huge explosion which devastated a large part of the planet, resulting in most of the population having to actually leave the planet as such. Didn't look good. Bad PR.
Yeah, that's an oops. We're calling that an oops.
So Krennic suggested to our good friend Mas Amada that the way that to actually make this look better to the public is to actually promote him to Rear Grand Admiral.
What?
His argument was...
God, the politicking.
Yeah.
I love it.
So this is the thing, and I'll get to this at the end towards this.
Game of Thrones has nothing on this.
Yeah, so this is the whole thing when we get to it, so when you think about it. So they actually don't give him that title, but they actually put him up to commander, and eventually he reaches the rank of director, which is kind of equivalent to Rear Admiral in many respects there as well.
I've always been a bit interested in that. It's it's Director Krennic, but then it's exactly where in the scale is the Moff and Baron. Is he above Baron? He must be above Baron.
No. So
Baron is a peerage that's given to flying aces.
Yeah, and it's sort of or people who are quite. It's kind of like giving somebody a knighthood now, like sir something, Okay. So you have
is he some more of a civilian role as a director?
No,
he is 100% Army.
Yep.
Navy.
Yep, Navy. Part of all whatever in the Imperial forces.
Is it a different sex?
Yeah.
It must be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
MI does the flying, Fleet does the dying. No, Fleet does the dying, MI does the...
Yeah.
Starship Troopers quote.
Yes, it was a good one.
But also, if you remember, going back a while ago, we spoke about the Imperial Navy were actually really anti-Death Star as well, because I saw, again, all those resources could have gone into building a lot more Star Destroyers.
They already had thousands.
Yeah, I know, but you can never have enough.
1,000 more.
1,000 more, yeah. Anyway... At the same time, Galen Erso's wife starts to actually say to her husband, I'm not so sure about this.
When he said asking for a friend, I'm not sold on that.
They're at the dinner party and she went, wait a minute.
He's not asking for a friend, Galen. He's got one friend. That's you, Galen.
Did you ask him, Galen?
Yeah, exactly. So eventually they come round to the realisation that they're developing a massive super weapon and flee. And they flee with the help of Saw Gerrera and other rebels and the like. And that happens around about 17 BBY. And they go off to that little village or that little farm, and they're just kind of hiding out there. And that takes us. That's where they are until the start of Rogue One.
Is Rogue One 0 BBY?
No,
-1 BBY.
It depends. So Rogue One opens in 13 BBY when Jyn is a child.
Yep.
And that is the recapture of Galen Erso. So Krennic has tracked him down. They shoot Lyra, his wife, and take Krennic back to the Edu, I think, or Erdu, or whatever it is, that rock. And then Rogue One takes us to 0 BBY, because if you remember, Rogue One ends at the moment of Princess Leia's escape.
Yeah, so that's... And that was all... So episode 4 was all done within a year.
Yeah.
Of course it must have. It must have been all done like a week.
Yeah, it was done in a shorter time frame than that, like in a matter of days, practically.
Would like to know at what point is the calendar year start again? Do they have Christmas?
They got Life Day.
They have Life Day. Is Life Day New Year's? Because it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I have no idea what
before all these events, people would say to each other, "What year is it?" It's one before the Battle of Yavin. What's the Battle of Yavin? I don't know. It hasn't happened yet.
Well, I think at the time it was probably would have been the old calendar system would have been how long the Republic was going, and then the Empire came in, and I don't know. I think we'll have to look in that, but I think they probably would have reset it to being
that
like
calendar year. Only got to like 20.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
God, that Imperium really didn't last very long.
Well, in many ways it has, and this is what I was going to say. So I think I'm not going to go so much on about the rest of his life because we know what happened.
We know.
We've seen the film.
all 20 minutes of it.
However, there is a thing in canon, in I think it's the book from a certain point of view. I think Lachie, you've talked about it.
Yeah.
So he makes an appearance in there, and I think his final dying moments are he's looking up at the peace sphere, knowing he's going to die, and he hasn't thwarted the rebels as such, but he knows that Tarkin's actually going to get in trouble because there is a flaw in the Death Star, and he's like, it's going to get you.
Have you read it?
No.
So I'm really glad you brought it up because I was going to.
Yeah.
The book, from a certain point of view, is a wonderful book. I honestly don't know if it would be canon or not, but it's so good. I would recommend it to anybody because there's this one story in it, and it'll be the story you're talking about where Tarkin sort of describes Krennic as being brilliant but flawed because here's this man who was a genius. He built a complicated machine, but he was so blinkered. Yes. He was sort of like, I built the machine and it works, end of story.
Yeah.
But Tarkin was like, if he could think more in the abstract, he would have noticed that there was actually something wrong with the machine he built. Yeah. He couldn't do that. Yeah. He was sort of like, here are the blueprints. I have made exactly the blueprints. It works. It's done. Mm. But
it's perfect.
But it's
do not say my invention's not perfect.
Yeah. Well, this kind of brings me to the sort of final part, and this is what why I chose him. I think, and this is when I wrote my notes up, I called this final section "choking on his own ambitions." If you remember, you see what I did there. If you think about it, like, what is Krennic focused on? Meeting the Emperor, gaining prestige, getting recognition.
Did he never meet the Emperor?
I don't know. No, I don't.
I doubt it.
No, I think so.
Because the Emperor in his early days, he was quite out there. I mean, especially after he got disfigured in a horrible attack by the traitorous, Jedi's. He was very out there. He was very much a people person.
But then after the Empire came into being, he actually retreated.
Yeah.
And then nobody saw him, and it was actually to the point where his aides said to him, people don't know what's going on. So they used to actually fly around empty shuttles saying that he was in it to make it look like he was actually doing stuff. But he mostly chose to rule through the Grand Moffs and through his aides.
I guess if you've taken over the universe, like, what's more is there to do?
It's kind of like, I'm just going to chill.
I guess I win.
Probably, I could be reading too much into this, but the scene where Krennic is sort of saying, one hoped that the Emperor might be here, that to me doesn't sound like a person who's met the Emperor before. That sounds like someone who wants to and is excited to meet the Emperor.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Good point. Good point.
But I think what it is, and I won't. But I think what is Krennic? I think he epitomizes what it must be like to live under that kind of authoritarian fascist regime where the power structures are unclear and feudal. And this is actually what happened under Hitler's regime. You had all the various lieutenants fighting each other through bureaucratic battles, jockeying for power.
Soviet Union did that so
and
badly.
the Soviet Union as well. Exactly. When you think about the Kremlin and all that kind of stuff. So what Krennic represents is that kind of blinkered kind of dedication to not only to the regime but to their own power, and trying to achieve that power through any means and at any cost, to the point where he completely compromises or gets rid of any ethical or moral considerations. All that matters is
It's his advancement.
his advancement. Like,
Nuke the town just to test the weapon? Yes.
yes,
I will.
yeah, and that's where that moment when he blows it up, all his responses, "Oh, it's beautiful." It's like, it's like, yeah.
Oh, did any of you might have brought this up before?
Yeah.
Jyn Erso, remember how she saves that kid
Yeah,
in that movie?
Yeah.
You know?
No.
And then
in the gunfight.
Yeah, that kid gets nuked.
yeah, exactly. It's pointless.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
They make a point of it in when you read the book. They actually make a point to let you know that kid died regardless.
I hadn't thought of that until just now. In my mind, it's your fault.
Yeah. So look, I would think, so if I could draw a historical analogy, and hopefully this isn't too much for readers, if you don't know who this is, when I think of Krennic, I think of the historical person called Albert Speer. Albert Speer was Hitler's architect who went on to actually lead his industrial war machine. He was a brilliant, talented man, a great bureaucrat, but had no idea what was going on. He was just so focused on the result.
When you say architect, do you literally mean person
architect
who designs buildings?
Yeah, he designed like the Reich Council and stuff like that. So he was brilliant brilliant man, but didn't think about any of the moral or ethical considerations. All it was just getting power and just, here's my job, I'm just going to do my job.
He just wanted to make buildings to impress Hitler.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a show on Netflix at the moment about Nazis.
What's it called?
Oh, yeah, the...
Circle of Evil?
Yes, it's actually quite good. I've been watching that.
I've been watching it too, yeah.
Yes.
Like
I have not seen it. I would watch
It's
that.
really good.
Yeah,
You would enjoy it.
Each episode is about a member of the party and stuff based on what they did to get their slice of the pie.
Yeah.
It's like, it's such a weird... Like, whenever I look at Nazis in depth, it's so weird. Like, I don't like the Nazis. I'm glad they lost. But you see some of the stuff they did faffing around when they should have been doing their job. Like, if they had been paying attention...
They were too busy fighting each other.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, isn't that kind of what happened to the Empire? Krennic and Tarkin and...
Everyone is fighting each other.
Everybody is fighting and jockeying position that ultimately... That ends up with being the Death Star being a flawed weapon.
Okay, here's the thing. For your consideration, both of you guys, because both of you know more about history than I do. When I draw a comparison between a civilization in the real world and the Empire, I don't go to the Nazis first. I go to the Aztecs first.
Okay.
Because the little bit I've read about the Aztecs, they were an incredibly unpopular civilization at the time. The neighboring everybody
that's part of their downfall, yes.
Exactly, and part of the reason that they disappeared, the Aztec civilization fell, was because everybody hated them.
Yeah, so when the Spanish turned up and Cortez, basically most of the Spanish army was mostly the other tribes and city-states because they said, we're sick of the Aztecs coming around, kicking down our doors and taking our people to be sacrificed on their temples, so hell yeah, we'll join you.
Yeah, so someone put a message on Facebook that was like, hey, we're going to fight Aztecs, and everybody be like, coming. I'm
interested going,
Interested.
So you get people like Saw Gerrera, who's like, I'm not one of the rebels, I'm just fighting the Empire because I hate the Empire.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, the Empire fell against all odds. Like, the Empire theoretically shouldn't have fallen, but it did because everybody hated them.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Everyone except the inner core.
Yeah.
Because all the inner core got all the goods from the outer core.
And everybody who chuffed off to become the First Order.
Yeah, I'm still don't.
You still have a problem with
I
that?
still have a problem with that. It's like,
fair
well,
enough.
we have this gigantic galactic empire that we've been building in secret. Also, they're more space Nazis. Also, we've been stealing babies. It's like, all right.
Also,
the
secret spacefaring Nazis.
Also, the company that made the Star Destroyers in the Galactic Civil War, they QAT Drive Yards.
Yes.
The planet QAT was allowed into the New Republic. Do you want to know who made the Star Destroyers for the First Order? QAT Drive Yards.
Yes.
Like,
Hey, money's money.
yeah, but like,
You're good at something.
yeah. So the new good guys at no point went, look, QAT, you guys have we're a bit upset with you. We're
Oh, they didn't even notice. Hey, what's that over there? Psh, nothing.
We're gonna keep an eye on you.
Looks awfully like Star Destroyer.
It's like
but
in
slightly sleeker.
It's like in South Park, Saddam Hussein in heaven. Like, no, I'm not making poison gas. It's a chocolate chip factory. You know, it's like
Yeah, so the Republic. So that 60 kilometer long that 60 kilometer long spaceship you're making, is that for anybody? Like,
The one that you're making in the sky.
yeah.
Like, what's with the Star Destroyer? Nothing. Chocolate chip factory.
Be honest with me right now. Are you making Star Destroyers?
No. Fingers crossed behind back. And no, it's a Star Destroyer 2.0.
No, it's a
Star Obliterator.
Yeah, it's a,
please.
God, it's a star constructor.
All right, listen. This show's getting a bit off tangent. Let's bring it to the end.
Why, you stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerve herder.
Begin.
All right.
We need to bring it up.
Oh, of course we do.
But I can't read this until you say it's the end of the night.
It's the end of the night. It's now about 9 o'clock, which is lovely. I'd be awake at silly AM. And we like to end every podcast with some shout outs. So, Mike.
Ground control to Major Tom.
I was going to make that joke.
First, said adding our podcast on Spotify was one of the best feelings ever.
Yeah,
we need to mention that.
We've got the list twisted around here.
Oh, no. What's happening?
Oh, no. Major Tom shouted out to us on the FFG forum. So, yes, thank you very much, Major Tom. Joshua Brown said, adding our podcast on Spotify was one of the best feelings ever. And we're on Spotify. That's so exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Well done, Owen.
I was so happy when I got that email.
Are we the first X-Wing podcast on there?
I don't...
Probably not.
No. I certainly hope so. In my head, we are.
Yes.
God, I was excited. I texted you and called you guys. I was like,
Yes, and actually, come to think of it, I have a feeling with some people's phone plans, Spotify doesn't use data,
Mine
so you
doesn't.
can listen to your podcast
correct.
if you use Spotify. Because we've put episodes of our show and memes and other content on Facebook that got fewer likes than the post we put up saying, hey, we're on Spotify. We just put up a post that said, we're on Spotify. The audience went nuts for it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, people like Spotify. All right. Matthew Sains sent us a comment saying he likes our wholesome X-Wing memes.
Wasn't this... What was this in regards to? It was a great meme.
It was after the campaign missions would end in the original Battlefront 2, a clone trooper would say, just like the simulations. And I made a picture that was like, when you test a list on Vassal and it's good on the table too, like, just like the simulation. Which, it was pretty, I would say most of our content is kind of nice.
It's
and
very wholesome. And if you're in the EU, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You can't see our wholesome content.
But, all right, I'm going to tell you guys something. You guys and the listeners, I never told anybody before. I'm not dank. I'm just.
Do you not eat?
I'm not dank. People at school used to tell me, Lachie, you're not dank. A teacher of mine told my parents once, he's not dank.
It was in your report card once, wasn't it?
They're okay with it now, but at the time it was like, oh. So,
we're more wholesome than dank.
yeah, more wholesome than dank.
I want. This is mine. Trevor Betts. Oh, mate, you're a legend. Bruce. I want to say Enos. Hope so. Said out to us that Trevor Betts was
awesome.
was at a tournament and he was doing really well and he was wearing our t-shirts and I was like, sir, you must show me a picture. And
That
then
is amazing.
yeah,
Thank you.
So, listen, I'm not saying that buying our t-shirts will make you a better pilot, but I'm
will.
also not saying that.
It can't make you worse.
Ergo, null hypothesis, it will make you better. Okay.
But, Trevor, like, the picture that you sent us to show that you actually received it in the first place,
Yes!
that was so good. It's like, we asked him, look, when you get the t-shirt, can we just have a picture of you wearing it? But he went one better. His girlfriend, who's a photographer, did, like, a glamour shot. He's like,
Out in the woods.
Yeah, he's in the woods. He's got a jacket over his shoulder. There's this really good lighting. Like, by the way, man, your girlfriend is really good at taking photos. But yeah, it was just so fun. He's got this. He's looking off into the distance, just like thinking about life.
Didn't he do that for the Hell of a Pilot summer catalogue?
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'll do the next one. Somebody else do this one.
Marcus Thilsch. Apologies, sorry, I'm terrible.
This is just a running joke
Tilsch.
now. Like we can't say last.
Please
names.
correct us.
Yeah.
Anyway, is thinking of making some alt art cards out of our memes. That's that's awesome.
That would be cool.
Well done. I think Lachie. I think you sort of have to take credit for the memes. So you're the meme machine.
The meme machine.
All I did for that one was cut. Go to Google Images, get a picture of Michael Palin dressed as the Inquisitor from Monty Python, and stick it on the Inquisitor card. And
it works.
By the way, I painted my TIE Advanced prototype red, so I actually have a red Inquisitor model in X-Wing. Any Monty Python fans will know why that's funny.
Yes. Amazing.
Timothy R. This is one that I had to explain wordily because I couldn't make a picture out of it. So he sent us a message the other day saying, this is what it will be like to fly against an opponent who has Luke Gunner in 2nd edition. And it was a gif from the Justice League movie where the Flash is running around Superman and Superman like moves and watches him, and Flash gets really freaked out because no one's ever been able to see him running before. And I thought that was really, really funny, Timothy. That made me laugh a lot. But the thing is, right, the way Facebook hosts GIFs is the absolute worst. It is the worst.
Yeah, that's true.
I have wanted to post GIFs on our Facebook so often, and it just mangles it. So, like, I hope anybody listening understands why that's funny, but I just couldn't post it.
I don't know why it's so bad. I've seen a lot of things on Facebook where they just put movies, like a GIF, but they just repeat it 50 times and make it a movie. And like that's the way to do it, but it's terrible.
Okay. Okay, Cyro83 and Pyushk56789. I think that's their clone trooper to terminate. Anyway, they both recently followed us on Podbean, so thank you very much. We're on iTunes, we are on Podbean, and we are on Spotify and YouTube.
Yeah, and everything.
And everything, we're everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
There is no excuse for you not to listen to us.
Yes. Well, you are listening to us.
Why would you say that to someone who is listening to us?
I don't know. Maybe someone's like just skipped right to this moment, and this is just a sign. If you're looking for a sign to listen to us, this is that sign.
Anyway,
and we'll just end this night with a shout out to Serena Ho from the Trigger Point. Where I had it up. Trigger Point podcast. It's another podcast in a Melbourne podcast where they talk about cool stuff in about general movies that have come out. Steins Gate. She is part of Blitz in Space.
Yes,
she is the famous. I've forgotten his name.
Oh, let's not give it away yet.
Okay, we won't give it away.
But we have more female characters, which is a good thing to have. And a shout out to Jack Murray, our friend who writes it for us as well.
Awesome work, Jack. It's amazing.
Yeah.
The scripts are amazing.
This next episode is going to be great.
Yeah. It's really good.
It was so much fun to edit, and it was so much fun to do. Yeah. God, I loved it. I'm hoping to have it out soon. I don't know when, but it'll happen.
Awesome.
Anyway, thank you, everyone, for Joshua. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, everyone who is listening. This is the end of the show. Good night.
Bye.